Peace, peace, Cofield Blue. Chilling, chilling. I choose to be happy. Peace. About time you get on this chat. Choose to be happy, be disappearing. Ninth Disciple was good, good. Peace, peace, Queen Z. Did you get that info I sent you? Just making sure you got it. I sent it. I just want to confirm that you got it. Chantel. Howdy. Howdy, Chantel. Young Eli, peace, peace. That's good, Cofield Blue. Welcome to the channel. And we'll have more fun. I like to make this fun. And things that you could apply into your life should be fun. All right, make sure you let me know, Queensy, because I send it the same day you email me. I send it that afternoon, I believe. So please let me know. If not, check your spam, because sometimes it goes into spam. All right, King Aurora, what's good? Thanks for joining. Just waiting for a couple more people to get in before we start. A couple of announcements before we start. I say this every week, still haven't received much feedback. If you signed up for the necromancy classes, please let me know what your schedule is like so we can have a private discussion with those who signed up in the necromancy classes. Those are just for the individuals who signed up for the necromancy classes. It's 4 weeks worth, extending to most likely 8. But let me know how things are going. If you have any questions about the exercises, what you've learned, what you've seen, et cetera, et cetera. Some of y'all have, but not all of y'all. And there was a nice little amount of people who joined. So I would like y'all to let me know, give me some feedback on what's popping, what's good with the necromancy training classes that we're going through. So let me know how it's going. All right, for those who signed up for the necromancy classes. For those who are new to the channel, this is a left-hand path, an occult, metaphysical channel. We'll deal with mostly the left-hand path perspective of the occult, which is the path of self-deification, self-mastery, challenging yourself, raising yourself up to become the master, the god, the titan over yourself, to be the eternal chaos being as you're intended to be from the chaosmos. So this is what the channel is all about. If you came here wanting to talk about Jesus, came here wanting to talk about Muhammad, came here wanting to talk about any of the monotheistic 3 traditional religions, you can exit stage left. We're not here to do religious debates and talk about how you believe in God and Jesus and all that ish. All right? It's just a warning so that your feelings don't get hurt later if we discuss things that are too controversial for you and then you get upset in a little hissy fit and run out complaining and talking ish. All right? So you've been warned. You have a chance to exit stage left now. All right, since we got some people in here, let us begin. We're going to be discussing 5 ways to unlock the power of your subconscious mind. This is an important topic, especially for those on the left-hand path, those who work with occult or metaphysics or anything of that nature. The subconscious mind is a very important part of your work. And the reason why I said especially in the left-hand path, because much of the work we do on the left-hand path is geared towards tapping into the subconscious mind, reprogramming and decondition your subconscious mind from what was already programmed into you as you're a child growing up, or society programmed you, or religious indoctrinations continue to program you. The morals and dogmas of religion, the morals and dogmas of anything, any tradition, or the morals of society. Subconscious mind has to be worked. It's important to tap deeply into the subconscious mind. When I say deeply, I'm not talking about the surface layer like, oh, yo, I just found out why I like pizza. I don't give a fuck why you like pizza. What I want to know is the things that we don't readily discuss, like the trauma, the pain, the insecurities, the doubts, the lack of confidence, the fears, etc., 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 that hold us or have a profound effect on the way, one, we react, two, not only one, the way we react, but two, our behavioral patterns that were created from these issues of childhood, teenage years to today. So the subconscious mind is very important. On the left-hand path, we don't just say, oh, I have bullshit issues and I'm just going to ignore them. I'm going to meditate them away, go up to the Himalayan mountains and smoke some good hashish or whatever, and then ignore that shit and act like it never exists or it doesn't bother me. See, that's the right-hand path mentality where we want to be fluffy and light and we want to sit up in the mountains ignoring the bullshit that is inside of us. You can meditate 100 years. If the bullshit is not dealt with, it's still there, and it still will affect you. Especially when you're going through a trying time, meaning you're going through an episode, you're going through a situation, you're going to experience what is really still buried there, and if you've done the work or not, it will come up and it will surface, and then you'll see, one, I've done work enough where I now have a handle and control over this, so I'm no longer controlled by it. Or two, I'm still controlled by it, and if I'm honest enough, I need to go back deep down in there to the abysmic mind and really do some work. That's the part that we're dealing with, and we're going to discuss somewhat this evening. All right? 5 ways to unlock the power of your subconscious mind. First of all, let's begin with a quote by Earl Nightingale. Whatever we plant in our subconscious mind and nourish with repetition and emotion will one day become a reality. Once again, let me repeat that. That's a quote by Earl Nightingale. Whatever we plant in our subconscious mind and nourish with repetition and emotion will one day become a reality. Our subconscious mind is like a garden or farmland. You plant the seeds there, and then you nourish it. And according to this quote, you nourish it with your emotions, your energy in motion. You nourish it by the energy you put behind it. And then it starts to become a reality because it was planted and put in your subconscious mind, either one, of your own doing, 2, society, 3, religion, 4, family, 5, culture, on and on and on. So now it begins to become a reality in your life, and it actually begins to govern your life and how you react or interact with that reality. Let me take a sip of water here. The subconscious mind is the storeroom with an unlimited capacity. All your memories, past experiences, deepest beliefs, everything that has ever happened to you is permanently stored there. Again, I'm going to repeat this. The subconscious mind is the storeroom. It's like a storage room. You know how you have extra space storage or U storage or whatever storage companies you see, and you rent out one of the bigger cubicles or one of the bigger rooms they have in there, let's say 8 by 15 or whatever. Pretty nice size room. And you're basically taking every memory, experiences, your beliefs, and you're storing it in there. And what you're doing is, keep this in mind, you're storing it in there. So your earliest experiences are actually being pushed further to the bottom, to the bottom, to the bottom, to the bottom. As you have more experiences, as you have more beliefs and more things like that, your early childhood experiences are being pushed further down. Now, depending on your age, let's say you're 25. That's 25 years worth of memories, experiences, beliefs that you have to deal with. If you're older, that's even more years of all these things you have to deal with. So you keep adding on and adding on. Eventually, the bottom layer, which is the root layer of what basically created your existence today, meaning how you behave or interact with your world today, is still governing the rest of that crap that has been buried on top. So you have to actually journey deep into that abyss to do the work there. Anyways, let's continue. In simple terms, the subconscious is a part of you that is outside of your conscious awareness. Now, what is your conscious awareness? Your conscious awareness is what you see in this waking world that you interact with on a consistent and daily basis, whether it's television, whether it's music, whether it's billboards, whether it's friends, whether it's family, whatever the case is, that's your waking consciousness, your awareness. This is what you see on a regular basis. It's your subconscious actually sits outside of that. Okay? In simple terms, the subconscious is a part of you that is outside of your conscious awareness that creates automatic programs to make functioning easier in life without having to pay attention on everything you are doing. So mind you, your subconscious already has automatic programs that it has created to deal with things in life. This is why I was saying your behaviors, how you interact, and the things that occur, you have a behavioral pattern that has been essentially programmed or created by you, by others, by society, etc., etc. And how you interact and behave is based upon that programming. Now, I don't know if some of y'all have ever seen the image of the iceberg. Who is it? Freud kind of used this at one time as well. You have the top layer, which is a little layer of the iceberg that sits above water. That's your conscious mind. And you have this middle layer, that's your subconscious mind. The bottom layer going deep into the abyss, that's your unconscious mind. So your subconscious is sitting between the unconscious and the conscious mind. The tip of the iceberg represents the conscious mind, and the part in the water represents our unconscious. Like driving a car, a beginner who is still learning to drive would be completely focused on driving without engaging in a conversation with anybody in the car. I'll give another example. Have y'all ever driven and you're having a conversation on the phone, or you're in a deep thought? Next thing you know, you're sitting in your driveway and you look around and you say, well, how the fuck and when the fuck did I get here? How long ago did I get here? And I wasn't even consciously paying attention to this aspect, but I still ended up here. That's your subconscious mind taking over. The power of your subconscious mind is very strong. Like driving a car, a beginner who is still learning to drive would be completely focused on driving without engaging in conversation with anybody in the car. But after a few weeks or months of practice, that person would be at ease while driving, since it's become a habit and is registered in the subconscious mind. Neuroscience has recognized that the subconscious controls, get this now, scientific studies, you can look this up. Neuroscience has recognized that the subconscious controls 95% of your life. That's a big ass chunk, y'all. 95% of your life is actually controlled by your subconscious mind. The first 6 years of your life is when the subconscious mind is programmed. First 6 years, y'all. So if you had any events, any traumatic events happen in those first 6 years, it's a part of your programming. If you had, let's say, for example, I use this one quite often. Let's say your mommy was on the phone and you go speak to your mommy and she's on the phone talking to auntie, right? And you say, mommy, look at what I drew. I want to show you this. Your mom half-ass pays attention, kind of just ignores you. At that very moment, an issue can take hold and be programmed into your subconscious. And that issue could have been receiving lack of attention. So you go throughout your whole life from that one moment. You go out through your whole life being an attention whore, going above and beyond, and even doing absurd things just to receive attention. Sometimes these are your loudest people in public. Sometimes these are the idiots that can't help themselves and do stupid shit to draw attention. Okay? Because of that one situation where mommy ignored you because she was on the phone with auntie and she half-ass paid attention to you, you developed a sincere, serious issue that still may affect you today. And you became an attention whore. These are the mother effers who have to do selfies every 5 minutes on social media. Every 2 seconds, this person got a new selfie up there. They even take a selfie of them taking a shit. Really? Now, you really done lost your damn mind. I don't give a damn that you're on the toilet taking a shit. You're crazy now. Get some... Anyways. So, the first 6 years of your life is when the subconscious mind is programmed. And it is much more powerful than your conscious mind. Its job is to ensure that you respond exactly the way you are programmed. Your subconscious mind makes everything you say and do fit a pattern consistent with your self-concept, your master program. So however you conceive or whatever you perceive or these concepts we created from the self is your master program and is how it's going to interact or act out according to that. That's why it is important that you filter what is embedded in your subconscious mind. Keep this in mind. So again, go back to the example. That one instance or situation with your mother ignoring you led you to your childhood years. Let's say you entered elementary school and you did everything to get the teacher's attention. And people called you the teacher's pet or your brown nosing or whatever else could be. Then you go on into middle school. You're still doing the same damn thing. Teacher's pet. You're looking for attention. You're the one that always got to answer every damn question. You always got to stand up and be like, oh, yeah. Okay. Now, you get into the teenage years. Now you get into the age where you're dating. You're getting into age like this. Now you're starting to try to get attention from males or females, depending on your gender. And you go out of your way and above and beyond to get that attention. This continues throughout your life. And it can bring you, put you in predicaments, situations, things of that nature because of the master programming. If the subconscious mind is so powerful, how does one reprogram it to make positive changes in one's life? To reprogram our conditioned thinking, which might be pulling you down from living the life you always wanted. Your thoughts have the power to manifest in reality. The choice is yours. All right. Now, I'm going to give some examples of some of these 5 ways how to unlock the subconscious mind. One of them is using mantras, chants, or affirmations. The repetition of that can unlock your subconscious mind. For example, certain mantras, the vibration, the tone, the frequency that emanates from there has a way of tapping into your subconscious mind and can actually shift your consciousness to an altered state of consciousness, which allows you to tap into your subconscious mind easier. So keep that in mind. To change our lives, we need to do more than change our thoughts. We have to go deeper than that and change our programming. Another quote by Albert Einstein: "We cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them." However, many human beings and people right now, as you know them, will do the same shit over and over, consistently doing the same shit over and over, hoping for a different result. That is almost a medical definition of insanity. That begs to ask the question: how many people are really insane or halfway borderline insane? All right. To program your subconscious mind with the present conscious understanding that you gain takes time, because it involves bringing down the old neural pathways and creating new connections in your brain. But the good thing is that the subconscious learns through repetition. That's how it picked up the negative patterns or bad habits in the first place. Repetition is key. Always remember that. By spending time each day affirming your new beliefs or programming or thought pattern, you can effectively change your life and reality. Take time every day sowing the seeds of your new programming. Repeating mantras or positive affirmations have the power to raise your vibrations and make a lasting impression in your subconscious mind. Now, here's the thing with affirmations. Affirmations are part of the law of attraction. Here's the problem with affirmations. You can say to yourself, "I am beautiful." But if your subconscious mind is saying the opposite, because it holds the power of real control over your life, whatever's in your subconscious mind, regardless what you're saying out your mouth, is really what's going to be drawn or attracted to you in your life. It's not, okay, I just said I'm great and wonderful, so that means I'm really great and wonderful. If your subconscious mind is saying you're full of shit, you're not that great, etc., 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 what's really going to manifest is what's in your subconscious mind, the programming that's in there, not the shit that you're saying out loud. So you got to keep in mind that in order to really have this take hold, you're going to have to challenge yourself, one, to overcome the very programming that was set in there by yourself or others. You're going to have to challenge yourself. Do you really believe that you're wonderful and great, as an affirmation would say through the law of attraction? Because it sounds good, but if your shit is not really equaling that in thought and vibration and frequency, then you're really going to manifest what is in your subconscious mind. So how do you actually challenge that? We'll get to it in a moment. According to Paramahansa Yogananda, loud or silent repetition of inspiring words has been found effective in various systems of psychotherapy. The secret lies in stepping up the mind's vibratory rate. That's how mantras can be effective. You could say, "I respect myself. I'm a strong person," etc., etc. Those are some examples of affirmations. You have to find your own personal ones, not what other people are telling you to say or what's already been written for you. Find what you really need to say to affirm who and what you are and what you're trying to accomplish. But what mantras are effective? Depends. I'll give you an example. If you are needing some serious work on overcoming obstacles and blockages, an example of that would be one of my favorite archetypes to work with, which is Kali, which you see in the background. Kali, goddess or archetype of destruction, chaos, time, transformation, and blackness. Perfect to utilize in overcoming obstacles and blockages within yourself. So you would go on and chant, do the mantra of Om Krim Kali. Now, Om Krim Kali could be utilized to destroy enemies, external. But what enemies are you really destroying? If you internalize this, it has a more profound effect. The enemies that have been programmed within you, blockages, the obstacles that you sit on every day and think you've done some shit, but then they still keep manifesting. You would do a mantra, Om Krim Kali, at least 108 times or more a day. The more times you do it, the more effect it has on your subconscious mind and the reprogramming that you're trying to bring into it. Not just 108 times, then you call it quits. This is why Japamala beads are important if you really are serious about doing a mantra. You got the Japamala beads, you do it one time around, that's 108 times. You actually will get in the rhythm of it. You'll do it much more. You do it 1,000 times a day or more, you're going to start causing a vibratory shift in your consciousness, especially within the subconscious mind. And you'll be able to tap into the things that are there that have been holding and controlling you, or the blockages that are there that you just can't seem to overcome. So doing mantras is perfect. Creating your own affirmations is perfect. Creating your own mantras is even more perfect. You as a master, as a titan, as a god, as an eternal, dark, primordial being, you have the power to create your own mantras. You don't have to use all the shit that's there. I'm just using these as examples. The work that we all face on the left-hand path essentially is to get away from working with any archetypes, so-called gods, goddesses, deities, or anything like that. The work that really lays at hand is to get away from using any of the archetypes and realize that you are the master, you are the god, the titan, the chaos being, the eternal primordial being. You are all of that. And how can you, who is the eternal primordial being who created the gods, still work and use the gods in your workings or rituals or whatever path workings you're doing? Just think about that. You are the eternal. You are the chaotic being who came from the chaosmos, birthed from the black sun, from the origin and beginning of this multiverse. Yet, you are utilizing the very gods that we created in your workings. Somewhere along the line, the shift took place and it enslaved you, thinking you still need some external entity, deity, god or goddess to work with, to do a ritual with, to do a mantra with, to pray to, etc., etc., etc. How can the very God, using that term, how can the very God who created the God pray to a lesser God that you created? How? I mean, I ask this quite often. I get various answers, but never any really solid answer. And one of the answers is that we're programmed like a mother effer, and we fail to admit that fact. When you can admit the first step that you're programmed, then you can do the second step, which is changing the program. But as long as you think, oh, well, that's tradition, or, I just choose to work with a God, then you choose to keep feeding your forces, your power to external beings that really have not or cannot really be proven to exist other than in your subjective realm. Subjective realm. That's your personal subjective inner world. I cannot co-sign on your subjective world because I'm not in your subjective world. We interact in the objective world. So how the hell you expect me to co-sign what's happening to you in your subjective realm when you tell me, just an example, you tell me, oh, I just saw this demon in my dream. and he was hugging me or she was hugging me and telling me I'm divine and great. It's fucking lovely. I can't co-sign that shit. I'm not there. That's your experience. And you needed that experience, but don't expect me to believe you and honk the horn and be on your team 100 because you had that experience and you want me to accept that too. Bullshit. I'm not co-signing that. Because the minute you do, you just went into Spookville, Delusionalville, and now you believe in somebody else's bullshit and not having your own experience. That's the real purpose of being the master over self. So you stop co-signing everybody else's experiences and gain your own personal experiences, disconnecting from all this external worship or external gratitude or external bowing down to, etc., etc., etc. Let's continue. It's not just repeating the same thing and again. You have to break the barrier that prevents certain thoughts from entering the subconscious mind. This is what I was alluding to earlier, the obstacles and blockages. There is an obstacle or blockage within us from a programming. And those obstacles and blockages are barriers. There's literally like barriers, like almost walls that are invisible walls that are set there by ourselves. And you're trying to penetrate that, but you just can't seem to do it sometimes. It's not enough just to say things over and over again. You have to actually realize you got to break that barrier that sits there. Now, if you feed thoughts to your brain continuously, it will enter your subconscious mind. Feed only what you desire, not what you don't want. Now, here's the trick, y'all. Here's the trick about this. I use references, and I'll tell you after where I got this from in reference. I use references only because that's what people need. They need references to have something to correlate or cross-check for themselves. Okay? However, I do not believe that just because you feed your mind what you desire, that you're only going to get back what you desire. It's bullshit. Now, I'm going to tell you how I learned through walking this path from experience, years of walking this path. You don't always get what you want when you do ritual work or any kind of metaphysical work or occult work. You don't always get what you want. Sometimes you get what you need, and it may not exactly correlate or be in harmony with what you want. So don't discount that what you want, just because it didn't come through, that you failed. You did it. Because what you're getting is possibly and most likely what you need for your growth more than what you want. I'm going to tell you what I mean by that. Sometimes we want a lot of bullshit that really doesn't mean a damn thing to your growth. Now, you should have external things. What I mean by that is you should have a place to live. That's the basics. Food, clothing, shelter. You should have that. Okay? And if you don't have that, what the F are you doing? There's no way in hell you should be in this left-hand path or occult path and be a broke-ass person. If you're really on this path, you should be manifesting abundance, prosperity, and wealth, whether it's mentally, physically, financially, whatever the hell it is. You should not be broke if you really work in this path. Okay? Really get to that part and understand that. You really should not be broke if you're working this path. Especially if you're working this path, because there's going to be some tools and implements you need that you got to have money for to get it. This is not a hand-me-down. Sometimes, if you really want something, you got to go get it, and you got to earn it. So keep that in mind. If you really want to see if your results are really manifesting, see the growth that has come from it. Are you still in the same situation? Although you got you did a money spell and you got $1,000, and now you think the master wizard of the planet? Big fucking deal, $1,000. You can do any shit. Wiccans can fucking manifest $1,000. But if you really working on overcoming your obstacles and blockages, programming, and you shift your consciousness and put a new program in there, then abundance, prosperity, and wealth will naturally come to you flowing like a river because you overcame the blockages and obstacles and the programming. You open the door, those blockages, obstacles no longer there, so that shit just flows to you naturally. But that's another note. Okay. In the process, now, see, this is why I don't agree with some of this shit sometimes. Anyways, in the process, if you experience negative thoughts, sadness, anxiety, frustration, etc., don't try to resist those thoughts. He's right here. Don't try to resist those thoughts, but acknowledge them and accept them in your conscious mind, and it will eventually fade away. That's the bullshit. And I'm going to tell you why I say it won't eventually fade away. What you resist will persist. You can say, acknowledge it. I accept that that shit's there, but what are you doing about it? Okay, I accept that I have a problem. Okay, I accept that. Okay, you accept that. It's now, you're now aware of it, but what are you doing about it? Don't just think because you accepted it and it magically disappeared. That's some hocus pocus. They want you to be a slave. You ignore your anger or it's considered something wrong, then I won't use my anger and frustration to overthrow the stupidity that's been holding me down. You understand? If we hold on to this mentality and keep listening to this crap, we're always going to be slaves to people. Ain't it time the chaos beings rise up, sit on your throne, and take the shit back over? But you can't if you keep believing the stupid shit like ignore, accept, and acknowledge your anger, but then just let it fade away. Bullshit. Some of us are angry for a reason, damn it. And you got to get deep into it to understand where your anger comes from. But then when you work your rituals, you're going to find out anger is not negative. You need anger sometimes. Let me explain what I mean. If your ass gets lazy, but you have a goal, you have an assignment, you have a task that you must accomplish, and your ass keeps getting lazy and not accomplishing it, eventually that anger is going to rise up in you and get mad at yourself. Then you transmute that anger and shift it into using that anger to accomplish the task at hand. That's how you use anger. One example, one way. Some of y'all found your other ways how to use anger. Sekhmet, the archetype, perfect symbolism of how anger can be channeled and utilized in certain ways. Okay? Now, when I use these archetypes, keep in mind if you're new here, on the left-hand path, when we use archetypes, we don't worship them. We don't pray to them. We don't grovel. We don't do none of that. The archetype is a symbol, a metaphor, and it's a symbol of you. And whatever attributes, powers, characteristics that archetype represents, in the left-hand path, you're supposed to embody that archetype. So you put on the mask of Sekhmet, let's say, and you understand what her rage and her anger and her bloodlust was all about. And then it correlates and connects to your subconscious mind where your anger, frustration, or rage may lay at, and you embody that energy, the attributes, the characteristics. You become Sekhmet. You don't worship and grovel. You become Sekhmet, and guess what? Then you start to get answers where your anger came from, how to use your anger for your benefit, how to use it to empower yourself. Is this video breaking up again? Meditation. Second way to unlock the power of your subconscious mind. Meditation takes you deeper into the deeper realms of consciousness that allows you to access your subconscious mind. In normal waking consciousness, our brain is functioning in beta pattern. This state is associated with alertness, but also with stress, anger, and anxiety. In meditation, your brain patterns slow down and move first to alpha, then to theta in deep meditation, which is the delta patterns that you tap into in meditation. Every time you are tempted to react in the same old way, ask if you want to be a prisoner of the past or a pioneer of the future. That's another quote. It sounds difficult at first, but with regular practice, you will become an observer of your thoughts instead of getting distracted by it. Allow your thoughts to flow and not react to them. Again, see, I don't believe all this shit. Not all the time. And let me explain to you why. That's passive meditation. And this is what a lot of this mysticism has embedded in the minds of people, is passiveness. I'm not passive, y'all. I'm sure some of y'all can see that. I'm not a passive person. I like to do what is called introspective meditation, where these thoughts come, you go into them thoughts. You don't just let them pass like they're little sheep in your dreams. Yeah, as soon as a thought arises in meditation, go into that mother. Understand that. Feel it. Feel the energy, the emotion, the power behind that emotion. So you really get the grasp of it. That's called chaos kind of meditation. Don't just sit there and say, oh, I'm angry. Where is this anger? Let me ignore the anger. Let me just hum and chant mantra away. Please. Please. Cut it out. Cut it out. That serves people who are docile, people who are easily controlled and think there's some spiritual guru or master because they meditated and now they've learned some levels of meditation where they think they're great now. Yet meanwhile, homeboy's still living in his basement, in his mom's basement at 55 years old. His mom been trying to kick his ass out for 20 years, but his ass is too spooky to get a job. All right. Ritual work. Now we get into some juice. Ritual work. Your rituals, as I said earlier, your ritual work should be based upon tapping into your subconscious mind. It should be based upon reprogramming your subconscious mind. It should be based upon overcoming obstacles and blockages. So to do serious ritual work on the left-hand path, one of the first things you're going to have to do is you're going to have to take serious inventory of your life. I mean, every part of your life. That means your behavioral patterns. That means your emotional issues. That means your sexual hang-ups. That means your laziness. That means whatever the case may be. You're going to have to take some serious inventory. Then you're going to have to, seriously, you're going to have to then create rituals around that. So, for example, let's say one of your issues is laziness. Well, in order to combat laziness, you need something that's real energetic, strong, and wouldn't take an excuse for laziness. So you might have to work with some warrior type energy. Okay? Some warrior type energy. That's what you might have to work with. So you're going to have to find out, okay, for example, one of my issues is laziness. It's been holding me back and everything else. What you're going to have to do is then say, okay, that's one, laziness. So now what can I do, right? Let me find some warrior shit to work with to go and bring myself some energy and tap into overcoming that laziness and tearing down those obstacles that keep me lazy all the time. So keep that in mind. Okay? Keep that in mind when you work your rituals. Like, for example, let's say you want to work on some vampiric energy. You want to embody the archetype of what a vampire is. So you tap into the vampiric energy because you lack energy yourself. So this may be a great archetype to bring you energy to overcome your laziness. Things of that nature. So create your own rituals. You would get a symbol of a vampire. I showed y'all my symbol of vampire months back. I have a vampire statue. It's called the Blood Moon. I think it's called the Blood Moon Vampire. You can find it online. Beautiful statue with wings, the whole nine. That archetype, since I work a lot with vampire magic, I use that symbol in my work. In my work. Okay? In it. Then, in my ritual, I take the first person. Instead of saying, "Oh, Lilith," which is how some of these rituals are set up, and even myself, I did that before. You start saying, I, like I am Lilith, or I represent Lilith, or things of that nature. You start becoming the Lilith instead of always saying, "Hail Lilith, how I would like to tickle your titties and suck on them." Cut the nonsense out, people. All right? The likelihood Lilith will ever let you suck on her titties is next to none, people. Cut the shit out. All right? If you're lucky enough, much power to you. I'm just saying. Be realistic, damn it. You embody the energy, the characteristics, and become the symbolism of Lilith. That's how you'll get to touch them titties. Anyways, keep it moving. All right. Last but not least, my peoples, is follow your instincts. Your visions will become clear when you can look into your own heart, into your own mind, into your own subconscious. Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakes. That's by C.G. Jung. I added the other part, but let me just read it the way C.G. Jung said it way back in the days. Your visions will become clear when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakes. By C.G. Jung. Intuition is the connecting path between the subconscious and conscious mind. Your subconscious mind applicably, converses with the conscious mind all the time. This is the inner voice or gut feeling which you must listen to. Some people have been reported to have stronger sense of intuition. There are other ways to unlock the power of the subconscious mind. There's clinical hypnotherapy, and that therapy, hypnosis works, but it can be dangerous at the same time. So keep that in mind, all right? Energy psychology and even brainwave entertainment is effective. All right. Now, the very last part, which is when it brings up here brainwave entertainment, is what I like to deal with. Binaural and isotronic music. Some of y'all already are hip to this. If you're not, in your ritual, get some headphones. You can on YouTube find binaural beats. And if you have certain programs, you can actually download those songs directly into your phone or other devices where you can listen to it with headphones on or a Bluetooth pill, whatever you need, while you're doing your ritual. Binaural beats are perfect. It's binaural beats to tap into your subconscious, to unlock your subconscious, binaural beats to help you reprogram your subconscious, and it works. Those who've used it for a while can attest to this. It works. Music, the vibrations, frequencies, and tones of music have always been used in all cultures around the planet to alter your state of consciousness, which makes it easier to tap into your subconscious mind. So, if you have access to YouTube, start searching for binaural music or binaural meditation music is what I usually put in. A slew of different types of binaural meditation will pop up and isotronic music. Perfect to cause a change in you would like to achieve. I Gave people this song before. Brother Beniti put me onto this a few years back. Go check it out. It's called Meditation Satan. Meditation Satan. It's on YouTube. Awesome to do your rituals with. And while you're doing that, the binaural beats from that is causing a shift in your consciousness, and the ritual will be more effective. If you haven't done it before, try it. Find it. And from there, it'll lead you to other things. This is especially for people who work in the left-hand path, the chaos beings, the eternal primordial beings. This is the shit that you should be using or could be using in your ritual work. It's effective. Very. So now, any questions, comments, or concerns? Before that, let me scroll up and see if there's any questions. Peace to everybody who I didn't acknowledge earlier. I was in the flow of it. So peace to Andre. Peace to 305 Capricorn. Wacky J 2012. Coldfield, already acknowledged Coldfield. Ninth Disciple. What up, what up? Mandola Born. Straight Panther. Amos. JG. Susie. The Stubby Show. Boon Shaka Babe. Perfection. King, all right. Let me see what up. All right, let's see what's up. All right, go on. Yeah, they, you know, what's funny about this, right, is they'll have these idiots who do pranks and talk about their life and all this stupid stuff. They'll give them props and they'll big them up and everything else. But when you're talking real conscious stuff or stuff that really is going to help people in their life path, they start causing connection problems and things like that. It's stupid. It's stupid that you have people that'll be on here doing some dumb stuff on YouTube and they got thousands of followers and subscribers and all these people and they big them up. But the minute you're doing some serious talking, they want to, anyways, whatever. That's how they do. When you create your own entity, that is the most powerful aspect that you could create in your ritual, is your own entity. When you're able to do that, you've taken a step from from following to becoming a god, because now you've created a servant, so to speak. It's a servitor more than anything. It's not really a god. You're really creating your own servitor who does your bidding. That's a good one, Andre Polk. Andre Polk says whenever he works for Archetypes, he says, I am you, you are me, we are one are we. That's good. I like that. Yeah, Bal Kamen got some good stuff too. Real good stuff on Brainwave Entertainment. Boon Chaka Babe, meditation safe? Are you asking the question, is meditation safe? Oh, she was asking what it was. It's called Meditation Satan. That's what it is. And I'm there's the link right there. All right, Love Sky 9. Mala beads are effective for mantras, and I'm not even going to spook it out. It's just effective because it helps you keep count of how many times you're repeating a certain chant or mantra. That's all it is. I'm not going to spook it out like a lot of people do. The mala bead has been blessed, and it's going to tickle your left nipple while you do a mantra, and you're going to become alive, and you're going to meet Shiva. Get the fuck out of here, okay? Simple. It's a damn tool to keep track of how many times, or the repetition, how many times you've done certain mantra. So 108, 200, 300, on and on, whatever the case, you can keep track. That's all it is. It helps your mind focus on the mantra. While you're doing the beads, you get more focused, and it helps you in that chant in itself. All right, Wacky, thank you for posting that from Bill Cadman as well. You're welcome, Love Sky 9. All right, bring other questions, comments, or concerns y'all may have while we're here flowing. All right, bring those up now while we're here flowing and talking. I know this was an impromptu class, a special class. I normally only do one class a week, but I felt it was important to do this class. The reason why is because we're always talking about the subconscious mind on the left-hand path, but I felt that sometimes people get confused or not sure what way or different steps they could take to actually tap into that subconscious mind. This is why I did this. So I didn't expect a lot of people to show up, turn up for this, because it is during the week, people work, do whatever. Sunday, which some of y'all been waiting for a minute, we're going to get back into vampiric sorcery and magic. How to really work it, okay? How to really work vampire magic or sorcery. And we're going to go back to even the basics. How do you become a vampire yourself, okay? So hopefully some of y'all be ready for that Sunday. Spread the word. Share this video so people are aware that it's coming Sunday, or they've already subscribed, or whatever the case may be. What I found out, I'm not sure if some of y'all have subscribed or not. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. When you subscribe, hit the bell as well. You'll get notifications for whenever we have these live discussions, because some people were not aware that this is even on, and some of the reasons, or sometimes it's because you didn't click the bell, which sends you an automatic notification that we live and direct. If you're on Instagram, I go by the same name there, Ravana Noon. Okay, on Instagram, you can follow me there. I'll post whenever we have these discussions. I don't mean follow like a follower, because I cannot stand followers. You're all gods in your own right, your own titans in your own right, your own masters in your own right. I just mean you subscribe or connect with me there. All right. So Sunday, 7 o'clock, we're doing a vampiric sorcery, and we're going in on it for a couple classes to wet your whistle, so that you can be ready when you're done with the necromancy. We're going into the actual aspect of the vampiric order that's being created. Okay? And yes, for those who ever had doubt or question, the African perspective actually had vampires in it. In West Africa, they had what was called the Oba Ifu, or Ifu, which was considered vampiric spirits in those villages and tribes in Africa. Sekhmet, considered a vampiric spirit or entity or archetype, symbolic of a vampiric archetype. Okay? So whenever we talk about this, please do not go into Europeville, medieval mindset that vampires just happen to only come from Europe. That is BS and bullcrap. Kali is a vampiric entity found in India. In Africa, you have Sekhmet, Khansu. Some of the original concepts of Khansu or Khansu is vampiric. A pep has a vampiric aspect. And you can find more in Kemet. You can find them throughout West Africa. Like I said, it's the Oba Ifu. Okay? Go look that up. I believe that's how it's spelled. It's found throughout Africa. So it is a part of us. So we are going to create an order, a vampiric order that is going to bring or specialize in bringing the vampiric aspect from the melanated perspective for us, by us. FUBU. Anyways. Now, let's see any other questions. Kali Mantra Magic is an excellent book, Wacky J 2012. Especially when you want to do work with Kali. It's very simplistic rituals to the point, and it works. Let me explain what happens in rituals sometimes. People create rituals and they make it too complex. And in the ritual itself, you get lost. That happens a lot with rituals. Instead of keeping it simple, which can be more effective and straight to the point, people think they got to be in a ritual room for 2 hours before they get some results. You're goddamn deceiving yourself. Cut it out. That's right, Straight Panther 79. For those who don't know, go to Scribd. That's, let me spell it, put it there as well. Go there, check that out. You can get membership for $8.99 a month. You're able to read brand new books from front to back for $8.99 a month, and you get a lot of documents for free, PDF files for a lot of these occult metaphysical books. That some of them are hard to find or out of print. You can find the actual PDF files on there. Okay? So go on to Scribd or scribd.com and check that out. Get a membership there, I'm telling you. And the reason why I use it is because I can read a lot of these books and see if I really want to purchase it for my physical library. Because some books, I know some of y'all bought books before, and after you read it, you say, I just wasted $20 on this bullshit. Well, Scribd helps you out. For $8.99 a month, you can read 1,000 books a month if that's what you choose. And say, I need this in my physical library, or hell no, I ain't buying this shit because it would have been a waste of time and money. All right? Okay, Boon Shaku Babe. Is something supposed to happen when you do rituals when you do them? Because I feel nothing at all and I get bored. One, not always is something supposed to happen when you do rituals. Let me explain why, Boon Shaku Babe. We've been fucked up by Hollywood. We got this Harry Potter mentality that all these great things happen when you do some spells or rituals. It's not how it works. That's Hollywood. Sometimes when you do a ritual, you do the ritual. You should meditate after you do the ritual to hear what your subconscious, your unconscious, your true self is speaking to you. And you might not get any great things happen that day. But you might get a dream that night that connects with you on a higher level and gives you more information, and the ritual help open the door for that. Sometimes it may take a week or two before you get any information or any results from a ritual. And sometimes you have to do a ritual 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20 times or more before you get any results. Depends on your level of blockages, obstacles, or programming. Some rituals you're going to have to repeat over and over before you feel anything or get anything instantaneously. But sometimes rituals you get nothing instantaneously. Sometimes you get nothing instantaneously, and you get them later in a dream, or you get them later while you're meditating or something else. So keep that in mind, because Hollywood has done a fantastic job of making us think that things are just going to happen quick, fast, in a hurry when we do a ritual or some spells or things like that. That's not how life works. That's not how any of this shit works. Some shit takes time. Other stuff happens quickly. So keep that in mind. Hope that answered your question, Boom Shaku Babe. JG, that is the utmost important thing. And like I said since the beginning of the video, the left-hand path, the focus is really on working yourself. The focus is not on giving Cthulhu a hug. The focus is not on saying, Kali, I love you. You're such great and divine being. That's not the focus. The left-hand path focus is to challenge yourself so you can master yourself. So your ritual should be dedicated and focused always, like I said earlier in the video, focused on the self. Overcoming your obstacles, your blockages, tapping deep into your abysmic subconscious mind to reprogram things in it. That's what we really work on in the left-hand path. And once you do the work on that path, all the external things you want, the finances, everything start to flow better because there's no blockages and your programming has shifted. You shifted your paradigm and now you're able to be prosperous. That's the key, is always work on the self. Master the self. This is what this work has always been about and will always be about. And do not think, because you're doing ritual, that 35 years of programming and bullcrap you have inside of you is just overnight going to disappear. You're deluded if you think that. You're living a lie if you think that. You have years of programming that's going to take years of rituals and work and practice to get over this programming, to get over our issues and our blockages and our obstacles. It does not happen overnight, y'all. King Shango, peace, peace. Astrodynamics by Robert Bruce is good. A lot of books by Robert Bruce. I don't know why I can't speak tonight. By Robert Bruce is good. That's right, King Shango. Consistency, consistency, consistency. This is something we've been saying since the Awakening Universal Mind Show. Though, if y'all have, some of y'all have heard Awakening Universal Mind Show. It was on talkshoe.com. Some of y'all have been connecting with us since then. If not, you can still go back there and find some of these archives. It's hard now because they redid the whole damn thing, so a lot of that shit disappeared, unfortunately. But some of it you can still find. We've been saying this for years. We started doing that show like 6 years ago, Awakening Universal Mind, 6, 7 years ago. And we always said it's all about the work. Consistency, consistency, consistency. It's all about doing the work. If you don't do the work consistently, do not expect miraculous results. You are tripping if you do. Okay? You've been watching too many Hollywood movies, too much Netflix, or anything else. Cut it out. Okay? This is not Sabrina the Witch. This is not none of that ish, The Magicians, or none of that. JG, that is 100%. Most of your dreams, okay, keep this in mind, people. Most of your dreams are based upon you. You could have your grandma in your dream. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's your grandma in your dream. It means your grandma represents a symbol. She's an archetype. She represents a symbol that is trying to communicate something to you. What happens in dreams is that you have the true self and the unconscious trying to communicate with the subconscious mind. The waking world, your conscious mind is distracted. Your awareness is distracted. The best time sometimes for your true self, your demonic self, and your unconscious to communicate with you is in a dream state. So much of your dream state is symbols that you have to learn to interpret. And if you haven't done the work, the necessary work, those symbols become difficult to interpret and you get frustrated and then you don't figure out what is really being trying to be communicated to you. All right. Yeah, check out that video. That's a good video as well. All right. Any other questions? I hope that a lot of y'all got a good gist of what is really the reality when it comes to our subconscious mind and working this left-hand path. I hope you got a good gist of what it really means to work with your subconscious mind. All right, listen. I'm going to say this. You can have visions in your dreams. Again, the vision usually is for you and only you. The problem happens that in some of these dreams or visions, people go Spookville and think that that vision is meant for the world, and then they try to get everybody to co-sign on their subjective experience. I said that earlier. That's the worst thing you can do. It's your subjective experience, your personal experience, and those visions are meant for you and only you. And to get other people to co-sign on your personal experience is the worst thing you can do, because it can cause confusion and chaos in an adverse way. All right, Susie Rich, how do we figure out the symbols? Study any book on occult symbolism. That's one of the first things that people should do, is get an encyclopedia on occult symbolism. You're then able to interpret these things based upon your level of study. So if you've done an extensive study on the occult and the symbolism and what it represents, what it means, and these kind of symbols are so connected to your dreams, you'll be able to interpret it easier and receive the message that is best for you. If Baphomet comes to you in your dream, it's not motherfucking Baphomet coming to you in your dream, goddammit. Baphomet is a symbol. It's a metaphor. Baphomet is not a goddamn deity. Baphomet is not Satan. It's a symbol, a metaphor of totality, mastery, power over the self, enlightenment over the self, mastery between the two forces, etc., etc., etc. People take this shit and they spook out Baphomet, and then they get a dream with Baphomet and they think Baphomet is really talking to them. It's not Baphomet, y'all. Usually it's your true self utilizing a symbol archetype that you adore, and it utilizes that symbol to communicate to you. Your demonic self is using that archetype symbol to communicate to you, and people will misinterpret as, Kali came to me last night. She said, I have work to do. She said, I'm meant to be a healer. I'm so divine. Bow to me, people, for I am Kali incarnated. No, you're a damn fool incarnated. Anyways. Thank you, JG, for putting those books up there where I talk, because I can't always do two things at one time, so I appreciate that. JG, okay. What is a good way to recognize the subconscious trying to communicate with you when you're awake? All right. The same way that I just said in your dreams is the same way your subconscious does it in your waking world. It uses symbols. Some people go crazy with these numerology and synchronicity. Oh, I just saw 1111 thing. That's just your subconscious mind trying to communicate certain things to you. Or symbols. All of a sudden, you see a hawk fly by. That hawk has probably flown by your house every day around a certain time for 20 years. All of a sudden, you see the hawk. Well, your subconscious mind is trying to get you to see the hawk because it's relevant to your moment, that specific moment in time. Even though that hawk was there 20 years ago, every day for 20 years, that specific moment, your subconscious mind acknowledge that is there. Using your conscious awareness, acknowledge that is there, because that symbol of the hawk represents something that you either are lacking in, something you need to work on, or something you need to focus on. I'm going to explain this. A lot of times people think that archetypes or deities come to them or connect with them because they're just Tahuti now. No. A lot of times these symbols of these archetypes come to you because it is there for an acknowledgement of what you're lacking in, what you're weak in, what you need to work on, what you need to focus on. So your subconscious will use your conscious awareness to pick up things that may have been there all along, and all of a sudden you see that symbol. Oh shit, there's a hawk just sitting there looking at me. Well, that motherfucker been looking at you for 20 years, but you didn't see it before until now because you've been doing some occult work, and your subconscious, your unconscious, and your true self all work together to say, hello, pay attention to this. So there's something you're lacking or you're not aware of within yourself that you need to focus on. All right, Tan Rich. When you see things like that in your dreams, again, we keep saying, or while you're awake, and you keep seeing, you keep seeing people like that or symbols like that, pay attention to it. For example, spiders. When you see spiders all the time, spiders are there because you're missing out something. You're lacking or not accomplishing a certain work. Look up the symbolism of what a spider means in the occult or spiritual world, and you'll see that it represents that you're not focusing on a certain work or not accomplishing certain work, because spiders are known as constantly working on something. You're missing out on something. So when these things constantly keep showing up, it's trying to tell you, hello, pay attention to me, because you're missing or lacking something or not aware of something within yourself that you vitally need for your growth. So as JG said here, it is important, and I'm gonna keep stressing this over and over, utterly important to study symbols. You have to be able to study symbols. That too, Love Sky 9. Spiders also mean lack of creativity, lack of eternal work, meaning you're constantly working. You know, it takes spider a long time to weave webs, you know. Okay? And webs also have significance. So keep that. If you keep seeing spider webs, go study those meanings. What it represents. That is one of the most important things you could do in the occult path, is study symbolism and what they represent. Because most of what you're going to work with is symbols. Your ancestors focused on symbols. Our ancestors from Kemet and throughout Africa utilize symbols in our work. Whether it's the Veves of the Vudan, whether it's the Metaneter, or what they call, the Greeks call the hieroglyphics. Those are symbols left there from your ancestors to spark your sub and unconscious mind so the true self could do the work that's necessary by utilizing the sub and unconscious mind. So those symbols are essential. I'll give you an example. Perfect example. If you go across most cities in America, okay, you will always see a church. Some cities have a mosque, some have a synagogue. And what do you see? A church usually is built square, rectangle, triangle, and an obelisk. Why? There's a reason. One of the things that they do in church, the masjid and the synagogues, they feed off your energy. So whoever tells me that vampiric magic or sorcery is wrong is a goddamn fool. Let me tell you why I say that. A church, the way it's structured so it can harness the acoustic sounds and the sounds and vibrations and frequencies so that the pastor, the reverend, the priest, or the masjid, the imam, or the sheikh, and the masjid, in the synagogue, the rabbi, can feed off of your energy. And the symbols in the church, if it's has a steeple, or what they call a obelisk, which is really an obelisk, okay, and then they have the triangle shape, or the roof slants down, is symbolic of the yoni, or the vagina, and the penis. And it's symbolic of them in the church sapping your sexual energy dry. This is why some churches get bucked down. I've seen churches nowadays, they twerking in the damn church, y'all. They twerking for Christ, goddammit. Twerk that booty for Christ. They feeding off your sexual energy and empowering themselves. That's straight vampiric sorcery. But it's okay because it's religion and you're doing it for God and Jesus. It's okay. Okay? Straight stupidity, people don't see it. Okay? They're so stupid or blind to things, they don't see what's being done to them. You go to the masjid. The masjid is usually dome-shaped with a minaret. What's the root of the word minaret? Min. Jeez, does that sound like a meta-netter word? Min, or Amsu Min, or Min, which is one of the fertility gods of Kemet. And they go up to the top of the minaret, and they call the adhan, the call to prayer. And you come into the masjid, which usually the main part of the prayer of the masjid is a dome shape, symbolic of the breast. And you come and you do your prayers, or your salat, which is really a yoga ritual. And they have the men all in the front and the women towards the back, which is stupidity again. And the men are all prostrating, okay? And you're bowing down or prostrating, and you have a man's ass in front of you all day. What do you think would happen to you if you keep seeing a man's ass all day? Explains why some of these guys are funny. Anyway, and then they have the woman in the back, and they see an ass all day in front of their face. Some of these Arab women have a huge ass, okay? What do you think is going to happen eventually? Is Allah gay, homosexual, transgender? These are the things people got to ask. So anyways, you're in there, you're performing your salat, okay, 5 times a day, and the imam's just feeding off your energy. These are the things that are happening right in front of our faces, but we can't even see the symbolism of what's occurring. Here's another thing. Now, you drive around and notice how most restaurants, what is their color scheme or color code? Red, yellow, red, green. It's always some kind of variation of red in a lot of these restaurants. Think about this, y'all. Why red? Well, red connects to your root chakra, the survival chakra, which is focused on survival, eating, things of that nature. Every time you see this shit, it activates. It sends a vibration to your subconscious mind, triggering hunger or something else that's associated with that color. It's all these things are around you, but we don't pay attention to the symbols. So we miss these things and we get programmed. on a daily basis. All right? We get programmed. That's right, JG. Color psychology. One of the most potent forms of psychology is utilizing colors to control the mind. We don't see it. We just think it's colors. Oh, look at that. How pretty that color is. Look at how lovely. Why is almost every goddamn pizza restaurant red? Has the color red. Red, green, red, red, green, red, blue. Think about it. Pizza Hut, red and white. Papa John's, red, green, and white. Domino's, red and blue. Bronx Pizza, which is... y'all ever in Orlando, I'm going to take you to Bronx Pizza. Anyway, that's another story. They use red and white. I mean, look at most Italian restaurants. This is one of the colors they specialize in. It's not just a coincidence, people. All right, any other questions, comments, concerns? That's right, King Shango. Little Caesars, red, gold, or yellow. Red, gold, or yellow. Hit another one right on the dot. Look at the burger shops. Wendy's. What color do they use, y'all? McDonald's. What color do they use, y'all? Burger King. What color do they use, y'all? Five Guys. What color do they use, y'all? On and on and on and on. You think that's coincidence? Think not. So, hit me up with any last questions, comments, concerns, y'all, because Sunday we're going to be on fire when we do with the vampiric sorcery. I just opened the segue to that vampiric sorcery. I connected y'all to get your hype for the vampiric sorcery because we're going in, y'all. We're going in. I use that as an example because there's some people that will email me sometimes and say, well, isn't that wrong? Yeah, okay, fool. It's wrong. Well, if you feel it's wrong, don't even contact me. Just keep it moving. Because obviously that's your issue and problem that you having with, and you want me to either co-sign or explain things to you so either I can, what, verify what you believe or spark some debate that's not even necessary? Nah, not happening. Boom Shaka Bay, they automatically, once I click end stream, it will automatically be up in a matter of like a minute or two, and you can catch all the parts, even the parts that were buffering. It smooths out when you actually watch it again. But I can tell you why it was buffering, y'all. I think I figured it out. I have a VPN. I don't know if y'all know what VPNs are. I had a VPN, and I forgot to shut it off. And it happened twice, and I realized it again today that it was on once again. And once I shut off the VPN, the stream started flowing smoother. So that's why that was happening. It shouldn't happen again, y'all. That VPN was on, and I forgot. My bad. But it seems that was the problem. That was what was happening. You're welcome, Musical Sorcerer. Good to see you back. I do my best. Be almost 85. Hell no to the no and no. As a vampiric sorcerer, you need not do any work with any entities, deities, archetypes. Vampiric sorcery, the first belief in vampiric sorcery is you are the god. There is no other god but you. That says it all. So I told y'all, in my altar, I only have 2 archetypes that are still left there. Okay? That's Kali and Set. That's it. There's reasons why those 2 are still there. But most of my symbolism on my altar is necromantic or vampiric. I have a vampire symbol there. I have coffins. I have skulls. I have things like that because it's symbolic and certain things that it triggers within me when I work with that. I work a lot with my ancestors and other spirits, a lot. That's why I started the necromancy class, because I'm going to show you how necromancy ties into vampiric sorcery. Most vampires work some level of necromancy. It is only natural, because connecting to the vampiric current is connecting to your ancestral current, connecting to spirits. All right? Because certain spirits are vampiric in origin, meaning they absorb energy, they desire energy, they need energy to communicate, to make contact, to do work, things of that nature. So you don't need to work with spirits. I mean, to work with gods and goddesses to work vampire magic. Not in the least bit. Most of the work is you being the god and doing your own work, your own tasks. JG, of course. Anything is possible without reading anybody's things or anything like that. All you have to do is say, I want to work on my subconscious mind. Listen to your intuition. Listen to your spirit. Because remember, the fourth most important way to work, unlock the power of your subconscious mind is trust your intuition. Trust the guidance of your spirit or your true self, the demonic self. Trust it. And it'll show you how to work with your subconscious mind without ever reading anybody's information. So keep that in mind. You do not need anybody else to work with your subconscious mind, to read their materials or anything like that. The only reason I use these are references for you all to do your own research. Don't believe a goddamn thing I say. Check things out for yourself. So I give you references or books to go spark you that can open up doorways for y'all to do your own research and information. Because you should never believe anybody. I don't give a damn who they are. Okay? I don't care if they're an elder on the scene and been teaching for 50 years or some young buck who's teaching you. Don't believe diddly squat. So this is why I use references so you can see I'm not the only person saying this. There's multitude of people speaking about these things that you can refer to and check out for yourself to do your own research. Not the only one. That's the only reason I use books. I do not use them because I need them. Because most of the work I do, I don't refer to other people's rituals or anything else. I create my own and do everything else. Somebody contacted me this week after Sunday's class, and I sent them the Kali Moon ritual. I'm waiting for the feedback, but I created that overnight. Nobody else's shit. I created that shit just from meditating on it, and this is what it came out to be. This is what it is. Stop following people. Unfortunately, I just do not understand how you could call yourself a titan, a god, and still follow other people. I don't get it. I give props to all the people out there. Beniti, Brother Panic, Bobby Hemmett, much props. But stop following people. You're your own god. Bobby Hemmett said that shit for years. Okay? Panic. Other people have said that shit for years, but some people still want to follow people. You're your own god, so when do you break away from following people? When do you really establish your own titanhood or your godhood or your primordial chaotic being self? When do you really establish that? When you stop following people. That's why every video I'll tell you, I do not want followers. Every time people ask me something or they try to give me props, I say, nah, salute to you, God, or big up to you, God, because you the guy that's doing the work. You the guy that's making shit manifest. You the titan that's making things a reality and breaking it down and bringing it to reality. You the God. We just mouthpieces sharing our experiences, but you the God or the titan that's making this shit a reality. You the one that's doing the work to make your life what you want it to be. So no, I do not like people who want to say, yo, I can't stand it. You your own God, you got your own key, turn that shit, open the door, and let's get popping. That don't mean we can't work together and correlate, do some rituals together and grow and elevate together. But ultimately, you still your own God. You stand on your own square, I stand on mine. Stop sucking the dick of everybody else. Do your own shit. figure this shit out. I'll give you examples. I'll help you through my experiences of what I learned, but you gotta do your own shit. You gotta do your own work. You gotta figure this stuff out, y'all. JG, where are you going? Oh, there it is. All right. I'm gonna get to JG's thing because that was dope what he asked. Before I get there, let me see. JG, getting people's perspective is just that. It's just getting their perspective. It can help you see something a different way. That's really all it's for, though. It's just seeing what their perspective on things, and it may help you see something another way to help you and spark you in a different mental paradigm. That's it. All right, musical sorcerer. Good question. How do we know the difference between ancestral spirits and helping spirits? Most spirits, and I'm going to say this to you, musical sorcerer, most spirits do not ever come in human form. They're just energy, and we perceive them the way we last saw them. Ancestral spirits, that is. They're mostly energy vibrating. You perceive them the way you last saw them. Other spirits, they come, they take the shape that you feel, or the shape they feel is friendliest to you. Okay? That's not as obtrusive or fearful. So they take the shape that is friendliest or best that you want. Okay? Now, an ancestral spirit, whether it's grandma, granddad, aunt, uncle, you'll know it's them. Because when you're able to ask them questions that only they and you would know, they'll be able to answer it. If a spirit ever presents itself as one of your family bloodline, and you ask it a question and it doesn't know, that's a trickster spirit. Banish that motherfucker. Tell them to kick rocks. You the master. Be gone. Okay? That's one. Two. How do you know if it's a helping spirit? You test the motherfucker. I'm just saying. Every spirit that ever comes to you, test it. Do not think every spirit that comes to you wants to shake your hand and do a slow dance with you. There's a lot of trickster spirits, and they're not there for good. They're there to play with you, trick you, and get what they want out of the situation, and manipulate you however they can to get what they want. You test the spirit. How do you test it? One, give it a task to accomplish. If it doesn't accomplish that, the motherfucker's not trying to work with you. They're playing with you. They're trying to trick you. Okay? Ask it to reveal itself and state their name. They have to state their name. If they refuse to state their name, banish that motherfucker. Period. Do not take chances. Not try to figure out what the hell kind of spirit that is. Banish it. Tell them kick rocks. We don't need you. Okay? Now, JG, to answer your question. So basically, I channel my own shit. Let me say this. Yes and no. A lot of the shit is from my own experience. Some of y'all have heard this before. I've been walking the occult, metaphysical, spiritual path for about 30 years now. I started at 18 years old. I'm 47 going on 48 soon. 30 years, y'all. I've been walking this path. I learned from a lot of people, read a lot of books. And eventually it started dawning on me around 1998. I got to stop following people and get my own experiences. Okay? My own perception and perspective about things that I'm working or trying to master. So I put down a lot of reading other people's books and started coming from my own intuition, my own guidance, and just bringing forth what's there. Okay? So, yes, I did learn from a lot of people because the path I walked, I studied under a lot of teachers. But it comes a point in time where you got to let the master go and become the master yourself. The problem is people want to hold on to the master and never become a master themselves. Thus, they become a servant or slave to that master and never master or grow themselves to be that. That's the problem. So when I come forth now and I speak to y'all, a lot of times I'm coming forth from experience, from trial and error, from failure, success, from doing stuff on my own, and also from the experiences I got from learning from others. Just being real. That's right, King Shango. Parasitic entities out here. Parasitic entities all the time, they sucking you dry. That's vampiric. But the difference between a vampire and a parasite is a vampire just takes and absorbs energy enough for it to charge itself up, whereas a parasite wants to drain you dry and basically make you a zombie or a slave. Big difference. It could, now that's a good question, JG. The trickster spirit could be your ego, but not necessarily all the time. But there is spirits out there that just like to play. And let me explain what I mean. There's a lot of spirits that are in limbo. Meaning limbo is that they're caught between here and the underworld, or they're caught between here and another realm of existence, and they're stuck here. And some of them, because they're stuck here, have learned how to trick and manipulate human beings to gain energy and access to interact with this realm and cause havoc. So, yes and no. It can be your ego at times, and other times, no, it's just really a trickster spirit. And they will wreak havoc. Perfection 933, yes, all is mine, mine is all. But also remember, one of the principles of Tahuti is vibrations. There's everything has an ebb and flow. There's vibrations to everything. There's energy and frequency to everything. So understand, energy exists. It can never be destroyed. Now, your mind acknowledges that energy and labels it what it wants. A spirit, angel, demon, orisha, neturu, whatever the shit is. You acknowledge that spirit and give it form based upon your mind. That's the power of the mind, but an energy does exist. Your mind is what either acknowledges that energy to be real or not. So to answer Perfection 933, but wouldn't that spirit that you test be coming from your own mind? Yes and no. Again, it can be coming from your own mind, but at the same time, is your mind acknowledging that energy, which we call a spirit or whatever else, that can be a trickster or can be there to benefit or help. So keep that in mind when you work with spirits. Okay, I don't like sharing personal experiences because, like I said earlier, they're personal experiences, and I don't want anybody to co-sign with my personal experience or believe my personal experience. You didn't have it, so I don't expect you to believe it. What I can tell you is this. The first time that I ever really worked or connected or made contact with a spirit, I was 5 years old. I was in New York visiting my grandma. I don't know if y'all ever know about New York and how tight and freaking apartments can be. Anyway, they took a mattress, threw it on the floor. This is before they had the air mattresses. They threw it on the floor so me and my little sis could sleep on the mattress. My grandma that I'm referring to is of the African diaspora. She's from the Yoruba or Yoruba and the Mabuti tribe of the Congo, the Yoruba of Nigeria, okay? She worked a lot of Santeria, Palo, and Sansi. Anyways, that, I guess they had a ritual there the night before, whatever the case. I'm sitting on the bed, and then I lay down, try to go to sleep. But I can't sleep. All of a sudden, I'm just there with my eyes open. I'm looking around, and in the hallway, I see a spirit just like float on by, stop in the middle and look at me, smile, and look away. I'm a little kid. I'm like, what the hell is that? course, that startled me. But I wasn't scared. I kept looking. The spirit came on by again, smiled, and kept on going. Needless to say, from that contact, that same spirit has been in my life since that day, and I still work with that spirit today. It's just one personal experience. JG, to answer your question, so there are spirits outside of you, does energy exist? Is the question I would ask you. Then, according to quantum physics and science, we'd have to say yes, energy exists. That would answer your question. Yes, spirits exist outside of you. Straight Panther 79, it's a song. It's a song that you can find on YouTube to use in your ritual work, especially when you're doing a lot of the darker shadow work aspect. It's a perfect song to use in your meditations. Okay, let me say this, Tanrich. All energies are coming through some form of portal. It's the portal or gateway from the living to the dead. There's a portal of, there's a gate. There's a realm of the dead. It's a realm of the living. These are considered different realms or existences. To get here, you have to go through a portal. At one time, there was gatekeepers who connected the spirits to either allow them through or keep them out. They were gatekeepers who protected the spirit realms and the interaction between the spirit and the living realm. However, a lot of those gatekeepers have been destroyed, have been perverted, have been and just taken away. So this is why now you have random spirits more than ever coming through that are causing more havoc than ever before. All right? All right, King Shango, I love you. I love what you just said, bro. So to an extent, we are past, present, and future in one space, giving us the true power to shift our reality if our mental equilibrium is on point. See, yes, yes. Let me say what. All right. First of all, time. Time is the biggest illusion, but yet it's something that we have to understand. Time is not past, present, and future. Because when we think of past, present, and future, we think of it in a linear fashion. Past, present, future. Okay? That's not how time is. Time is almost like a wave of frequency, and they can interact or connect or interpenetrate at any point in time. So what I'm saying now would be considered present. What I just finished saying would be considered past. What I'm about to say is future, and it all happens simultaneously now. That's time. And when we work in the spirit realm, astral realm, when we do more work in that level, we start to understand that time really is an illusion on how we've been taught about time. All of this is running simultaneously. So all the things that we're doing, saying, looking at, watching, all becoming past, present, and future, all at the same time. In an instant moment, you just went past, present, future. That's time. So when you understand that and you work with the spirit, you realize that you're bending space, time, and matter to just fold into it to create a new paradigm or new existence or new realm. So the more you work with spirits, the more you start bending space, matter, and time. You start bending this reality of the illusion of time of what we've been taught. And you start to create a new paradigm, a new existence. Yeah, some of them, they hang out on your back or your shoulders. Some of them are your protective spirits, but some of them are riding you because they're trying to use you. So Loma, I'm going to just say that because some spirits tend to ride on your back. And sometimes they're there as a protective spirit. Others, they're there to drain you dry and suck you dry and use you to accomplish their work, what they want. Shake that effort off your shoulder, put them in front of you, and tell them, you the master, you the god, get off me. I run the show. Good books to learn beginner rituals. Okay, Matthew Watson, beginner rituals in reference to what? Vampire magic, chaos magic, what exactly? I need a little more. Shit, my mind just went blank. I need you to be a little more descriptive. Exactly what kind of rituals are you referring to? Because there's many vast rituals. Susie Rich, yes. All the comments will show up on the replay, so you can write down the books. You can see, connect with the links and things like that. It should pop up right after we're done here, and the replay will be available. I was at the gym earlier. I try to go to the gym quite often, so work it out, girl. Work it out. Work. Anyways. Amanda Bryant, you do know a lot. Let me say this before I answer the other part. You said, I've only been awake for a year and I don't know a lot. You do know a lot. And you know how I know you know a lot? Because you just formulated a question that if you really didn't know anything, you wouldn't even be able to formulate the question. So you do know a lot. Okay? Now, understand something. When it comes to Boone and the Goetic deities, this is my take on it. Okay? Somebody gave you the Goetic demons to work with. And if you use the Goetic demons, you're casting yourself under somebody else's path workings or tradition. Thus, you're kind of limiting yourself from finding other demons that may have been trying to contact with you, work with you, or everything else, but we put it under this nice, neat little system that was created by another individual. Now, that's the question. Why do we do that to ourselves? Why do we feel that we have to work with the Goetia? Is it because somebody told you to work with the Goetia? Is it because you accepted somebody else's opinion on what the Goetia are? Or are you trying to discover more than just the Goetia or not? Okay? So understand that. That's my take on working with the Goetia. Now, Boone is considered a Duke of Hell. Okay? So to answer your question, Boone is a Duke. But again, somebody labeled Boone as a Duke. They gave him the titles, the Dukes, the Princes, all this shit. It's somebody's mind working to do all these things when you should be doing your own work to figure out other demons that exist. Not only that, the most important work is your own demonic integration, finding your own demon, because you are a demon in and of yourself. You are a demon. Your true self, what some would call the higher self, is actually a demon. And don't get it twisted, please. I'm not talking about demons like Hollywood depicts them and showed them, although some may look like that. I'm talking about a demon in a sense coming from etymology, means supernatural or genius. The genius self, or the true or most intelligent or highest part of yourself, is a demon. That is the most important work you can do. I'm not trying to dissuade anybody from work with the Goetia. I stopped working with the Goetia a while ago because I do not believe in falling under other people's system on how to work with things. Even when I work vampire magic, I don't do it like other people who've written about it, have their own orders and everything else. I don't do it like them. I work on creating my own system on working vampire magic. However, if you want to work with the Goetia, there is several books that are good. You can get the Luciferian Goetia by Michael W. Ford. That's a good book to try to work with the Goetia. Okay? That will help you in some of your path workings with the Goetia. Me, I don't really work with them a lot like that because I believe in demonic integration, integrating with your own demon and connecting to other demons that exist from the chaos realm. Okay? Yes, Amanda Bryan, I actually answered that on Sunday with somebody else, and it's funny you brought that same question up. You can work with the Orisha on the left-hand path in the occult. You actually can work with that and really work it. And what I mean by that is this. In order to work with the Orisha, if you want to work on it from a left-hand path, individuated consciousness, solitary perspective, you can't fall for the tradition. So you're going to have to learn the archetypes of the Orisha and their symbols and meanings and utilize them for your work. For example, let's just say that you may have some hang-ups of a feminine perspective, sexual hang-ups, you're lacking self-confidence in yourself or whatever they say. I'm just saying, hypothetically speaking. So, what would be a good Orisha to work or help with that? Of course, everybody's going to say Oshun. However, Oshun has many different pathways, and you have to study to really find out which pathway is going to assist you the best in working on overcoming whatever your let's say, for example, hypothetically, issues you may have. People sometimes use the Orisha because they want to feel pretty and lovely, so Oshun represents that. But most of the time, when you're attracted to a system or a certain archetype, you're attracted to that because you're lacking something or not paying attention to something that you are missing or not focusing on within you that you should be or need to do work with that in order for you to grow and elevate to a different state of existence. So when you work with the Orisha, learn their symbolism, because in Africa, in the Ifa paradigm or the Ifa perspective, the original perspective wasn't to worship Obatala. If you do deep research, you'll find this out. The original perspective or reason for working with Obatala, because that's who I work with, that's who I was initiated under when I did Santeria, is to become Obatala. Not to worship Obatala, not to grovel, is to you do the work in Ifa to really become Obatala. The problem is we got inundated Orisha, working with the Orisha through Osha and Santeria and all these things. We got inundated through religion. The syncretism with religion affected the way we work with the Orisha, so it became kind of a religious way to work with them. You kind of have to eliminate that part and get just to the root symbolism and meaning of the Orisha and working that aspect on your path work. Then learning how they correlate to maybe some Goetia, learning how they correlate to some Neteru, or whatever you're trying to connect or create for yourself, learning how they are cross-related to other different systems or pathworks. All right, oh shit, this thing just jumped on me. All right. Okay, Chaos Matter. Get books by Phil Hines, Peter J. Carroll. Look up those two authors, Phil Hines and Peter J. Carroll, are the two books, are the two authors to really start with in Chaos Magic. So I hope that answers your question. Any books by Phil Hines and Peter J. Carroll. Peter Carroll, look those up. Those two authors up, you'll find it. They're more than that. JG, let me ask you this. Have you practiced astral projection? If not, then then it might be good for you to practice that, because it will answer a lot of these questions that you have. Because these dimensions, you learn more of it through astral travel, and you learn more the existence of what is really there, and it becomes more than thought forms. Remember, thought forms usually are influences over your mind by spirits, demons, whatever you want to call them. They're influences from these energies. So that thought forms come from actual spirits or demons, or whatever we want to call these energies that vibrate different frequencies. They actually are influencing our thoughts. That's what really a thought forms can be. But these realms, these dimensions exist. And when you astral travel, you actually get to experience these different dimensions and realms. But I don't want nobody to believe that and co-sign, yeah, and never had the experience themselves. Get your own experience. I did a video on astral travel and projection months back. Go back and watch that, and that will give you some insight and also other information to check out on astral travel, and also how to create your own way to astral travel. But that may help you a lot in answering some of those questions you may have, JG. Yes, your mind can open portals in different gateways into dimensions. Rituals can also do that, but your ritual is powered by your desire, your passion, and your mind. So yes, that's why Tahuti said, "Mind is all is mind," because everything emanates from the mind, meaning everything begins when you acknowledge or accept something to be true, or accept something as being in front of you as being real or vibrating into what form it takes, and you accepting that as what it is. All right. Musical sorcerer, yes, it can appear. Some of these spirits that you conjure or summon can appear horrifying and terrifying. Yes, based upon what you perceive a spirit or a demon to be, or what we've been programmed to accept or believe. If you watch a lot of horror movies, then what you see spirits or demons are going to be a lot influenced by what you watch in movies. Okay, so that's just an example. They can take on that appearance based upon what's in your mind and what's been programmed in your mind to what they are or what appear to be. Matthew Watson, let me answer this. You can use any spiritual system you want across this planet, regardless of race, ethnicity, nationality. You can extract whatever you want from any path on this planet for your growth. It could be working with the Nordic. It could be working with the Hindu. It could be working with African. It could be working with any of that. Listen to your intuition, listen to your spirit, and follow the guidance, and you'll find the answers. Whatever you end up working with, that's what you need for that time to get what you need, the results you need for your growth. So whatever it is that you are guided to or feel, work with it, because that's what's resonating with you at the time. That's what you need for your growth. It doesn't matter the culture, the tradition, the religion. Don't get caught up on all that crap, the nationality, the ethnicity. Don't get caught up on that. Pull out and extract what you need from anywhere across this planet. I'll give you a simple one to try. Before you go to bed is one of the optimal times to program your mind, specifically your subconscious and any other aspects. Before you go to bed, perfect time to do that kind of work. A lot of times I just affirm and keep repeating, I am traveling, I have traveled. I am traveling, I have traveled. Saying it as if and saying it as if already and as if it's done already. And then I keep repeating this till I fade off. So I already programmed my mind that I'm going to travel tonight. No ifs, ands, or buts. I've traveled. This is done. This is a done thing. It's just waiting for me to do and come back. I say this until I fall asleep. And a lot of times I'll have headphones on while I'm doing this affirmation, falling asleep, that have binaural beats for astral travel. Something as simple as that. It's just an example I give you. There's something I do. Find your own way to do this, but you can try it, but find your own way to do it and see if it works for you. JG, that is 100% correct. Yes, you have to dive into the collective subconscious, even into the collective unconscious. This is the abyssic part of the travel, the journey. You have to do it is most necessary. King Aurora, we'll build on that. Astral travel and different things that we could do to help in astral travel. Vampiric magic and sorcery, that is of the utmost importance that you practice or are able to astral travel. That is an essential part of vampiric magic. Period. So we're going to go into that next week, for the next 2-3 weeks, deeply to the vampiric sorcery, and we're going to touch deeply onto astral travel and how it's important and ways to do it as a vampire, utilizing vampiric sorcery. So get ready. That's right. That's the name of the video. Shit, I even forgot the name of my own damn video. Whew. Tell you, boy. Astral travel and vampiric magic. Duma. Getting off of that Job, that J-O-B. Justice born. Justice Cipher born. All right. All right, y'all. So I'm going to wrap it up now. It's good talking to y'all. So remember, Sunday at 7 p.m. Try to be here early so we can roll and flow. What would I call building your own realm? Being the creator, being the master, being the God over your own life. That's what I would call it. So, yeah, thank you for showing up. We'll be here Sunday. Sunday is probably going to be more people in here. Get here early. Get your seat. No, stop. It's going to be more people. So get here. We're going to build on vampiric sorcery, how to work vampiric sorcery magic, work it, astral projection, what is vampiric sorcery, how to apply it to everyday use, etc., etc. Be here Sunday. This is going to most likely, a lot of people may show up for this, but sometimes, people are able to and sometimes not, whatever. Let's work this, let's represent, let's make this happen. And peace.